Hi, this is Rachel, speaking to you now. Please do not drive or operate any machinery whilst listening to this audio. Some of the things I speak about may be triggering. Please make sure you are in a safe frame of mind to continue. This is not intended to be medical or mental health advice, and I am not a certified mental health professional. In the case of an emergency, please contact your local resources. On staying alive. I'm not sure where to begin. I have my favorite sad song playing, which I enjoy listening to while I write. A candle is lit. I can hear my washing machine in the background. Well, it's a rented washing machine, just like this apartment. Everything seems to have a lease. And that lease, eventually, it ends. And then you end up on the streets if you haven't made alternative plans, or dead if it was your lease on life which ended. All of this writing is a sort of reckoning. A reckoning with life, my life. And you may think, well, gosh, this writer sure writes a lot about death and trauma and of the topic of suicide on a very personal level. Is she obsessed? But really, that's the illness, isn't it? That a symptom of depression as an illness is a preoccupation of death and of suicide. But it's not just that. It's also not the illness. It is a symptom of humanity. We all think about it, just maybe not to name it. For to give death a name makes it seem so much more real, so tangible. It is a symptom of humanity, the preoccupation of life and death, where we are confronted with these facets every day in our own lives, in the news, in movies and entertainment. In the latter, the good people are supposed to kill the bad people. But it doesn't work this way in life now, does it? Good people meet their ending far too soon. My father, your brother or aunt, our grandparents, your partner. We never seem to be able to have enough time together. There are groups who support people who have lost a loved one to suicide. Every suicidal person knows, but doesn't believe, that their ending of days to suicide, a part of a treatable illness, would be a tragedy. But the suicidal person doesn't care, cannot think of the heartache of their families, because they are faced with a different sort of heartache of their own. The interminable pain and sorrow of being alive, and how much it hurts, viscerally hurts, emotionally, to breathe. Because living hurts. It does. But to the suicidal person, that pain is exacerbated 1,000-fold. And living with oneself is so excruciating that the sensible thing is to end one's life by any means necessary. Believe me, I've tried many times. And the correct terminology is that the person died by suicide. If you say she killed herself, or my all-time favorite misspoken sentiment, he committed suicide, you are perpetrating the stigmatization of mental illness, and you are putting all of the culpability, the responsibility on the human, and none on the illness itself. Depression is a deadly disease, and I am well aware of this. But people commit crimes and are sentenced by a judicial system to prison. People do not commit suicide unless you are an evangelical high priestess intent on brainwashing your followers, in which case I'm wondering why you're even reading or listening to my words. By all means, tell a grieving mother that their child committed suicide rather than died by a horrible illness of which suicide was the resulting way in which their child died. See how committed lands when talking to the grieving loved ones. Isn't it about time we change our language? Words matter. The words we tell ourselves matter. The words we tell our children matter. And the words we tell each other matter. Got it? As I end the week seated here at this desk, I look up to a complex painting I created over a decade ago. It's called Inside Me, and it is a cohesive amalgamation of colors and strokes and intricate layers. It's a painting of how I feel, and I've always loved it. This week, I too had thoughts of suicide. Strong thoughts and urges. They say the only guarantee in life is change, and that feelings change. Feelings come and go, and I remain. But it's so hard to remember my therapist's teachings when I am staring down the barrel of a metaphorical cocked gun. I don't have a gun, but the moments can feel that intense sometimes. It's unbelievable. To me, that is. That life's moments can be that intense. That one moment I'm alive and the next moment I could be dead. I think about this all the time. Well, often that is. Constantly grappling with the worthy reasons to stay alive. I would love to rescue another dog. But every time I end up in the hospital for this suicidal illness, I'd have to find and pay for someone else to care for said dog. I need to be stable, but I am not. I am not stable emotionally. And I suppose I have to take care of this first before I can really live my life and have other responsibilities. My number one responsibility right now is to stay safe and to stay alive. Not my favorite of tasks to have to do in life. But for now, I will.